In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Surviving together, victorious. Never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to Surviving Together and our SAS community here. If you are new here, welcome to all of my usuals. Deaudrey, welcome. Feel better. I know you said you're feeling sick. Please, if you need to drop off at any time and take care of yourself. Crystal, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Mock, wonderful to see you. Shannon, lovely to see you. Charlie, welcome. Welcome. We're so glad to hear you. So glad to have you. Sorry, I think my voice is almost going. I haven't really been using it. I'm not sure why it would be, but so what are we talking about tonight? Because obviously the thumbnail didn't give you much of an indication. I had it all keyed up for talking about trauma and sleep, how trauma can affect your sleep and can affect your sleep patterns. And then I received a message from one of the people in our community, and apparently I'm a little dialed out. So if anybody knows if they either want to come on and share the screen with me, either visually or just voice, or in the chat, kind of help bring me up to speed with what's going on. I hear that Carol Need a Meeting is on pause right now. I don't know when that happened. Do we know for how long that might be? If there was some concern that might, leave a little bit of a vacuum, and how can the others who have channels help, fill in those pieces? And since we haven't got that coordinated, I think there's another channel that's going to fill in the bulk of that. But how is everyone doing? Is anybody feeling that? Is that difference, affecting anybody? Here, I'm going to paste this. Shannon, there you go. I am pasting it right into the chat. So just put that in your browser, and that'll bring you straight to me. And I'll pull you up. She's going into treatment. Is this cancer treatment, alcohol treatment? We'll wait till Shannon gets on, and she can help update me and anybody else who doesn't know. Because what we don't want to happen is people to feel like they don't have anywhere to come. I'm glad you have other support, Crystal, but it has been a little difficult. Yeah, therapy. Oh, well, good for her. Each and every one of us has got to take care of ourselves first. You have to put yourself as a priority, because nobody else is going to make it a priority. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of others as well as we could. So, healing yourself, working on yourself, please, please find time, make time to work on yourself. Audrey, I want you, I know you got a lot going on, but I definitely, definitely want you to take care of your health. And, because you don't want this to turn into anything more serious. And I want you to get healthy as soon as possible. Yeah, I know nothing. I I've been out of the loop. I haven't been on the lifeboat. I haven't been on Need a Meeting. So a lot of the people who I used to connect with, unless you're here, I just haven't connected with. I'm not a Facebook Messenger. I'm not a Facebook person, so I'm not on Facebook at all. And I, honest is, what's been happening is I have been working on myself. I have been doing a lot of work on myself this last few weeks, actually, and this week in particular. Okay, here we go. Here is Shannon. Hello,
Hey,
girl.
hello, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Okay, bring us up to speed. What is going on?
Well, I just know that Carol started having feelings of being really depressed. In the last
Okay,
two meetings, she expressed that. And so then she announced that she wouldn't going into some sort of treatment, outpatient treatment, some intensive outpatient treatment.
mm-hmm.
So, and she's
Okay,
suspending needing a meeting.
okay. So it's kind of an indefinite, depending on how things go for her. All right, not
Exactly.
all right, not a problem.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of
Geometry's
us have been relying on it. I've been going there all the time.
right, right. Well, like I said, I don't want to say too much because this person it hasn't publicly committed to filling the void, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of talk. We're going to make it happen. So for you guys that have been feeling it, like I said, I didn't know about any of it. I am
Right.
certainly willing to, up my times, and we can do things just like this. I can add times and we can have it be more like Need a Meeting format, and
Yeah,
we can
that'd be
see
great.
this other person in the community, see what kind of times that they're looking at as well, and just make sure that everyone can still get support, and get the amount of support that they need. um,
I know it
Man,
makes it hard. I mean, it can be. We just need to stick together. That's all.
absolutely. Mayonnaise Entertainment, welcome. So glad you're here. um, Yeah, it it's just funny because this comes actually at a really good time for me. I have been doing a lot of focusing on myself, and as I told you guys, with my last meeting, um, taking this channel full time, or at least being able to devote all of my time to the channel and not have to
Mm,
worry about a day job, is my dream. It's my goal. It's where I want to be. And with that will definitely be adding shows.
yeah,
And I I hopefully am going to meet with this person who has offered some sponsorship. I don't know if it'll ever come to fruition, but um, next week, possibly next weekend, early next week, something like that. I have spent the last 3 days cleaning my house. I have done about 12 loads of laundry, and I'm not kidding you because I had 2 months worth of clothes. Um, I've almost got the laundry room cleaned out. That's one of the reasons I hate doing laundry here, is because the laundry room's so small and it's just stuck with stuff. But I've almost got that cleaned out. The living room is cleaned out. My office is is still a work in progress, but my bedroom is clean. I mean, all the clothes are put away. You can see the floor, it's vacuumed. It's just kind of amazing. Um, so when I look at my list of the major things that I want done, there's a filing. Oh,
Oh,
she
Awakened
is.
is going live? Okay. I know
Well,
she sent me a message that she might be going live, but I didn't know how to get in there either.
oh,
So
she sent me a message that she was thinking about, that she was going to be talking, that she wanted to talk about this, but I didn't know anything in regards to her going live.
I
If
just got the
somebody wants,
message, yeah, that she's going live.
was it like a channel notification?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get it. Surprise, surprise.
I don't know. Do
Hi,
you want me
thank
to
you,
go find
YouTube.
out what's going on and come back?
Thank you, YouTube.
I can do
Yeah,
that. I could do that.
yeah, I mean, we could all migrate over there, but yeah, feel free to pop over there. I know that this is what she's going to be, mainly talking about, and it looks like Crystal's saying Ben might be doing something, um, so he might be, popping in with things. I would expect that Christy would, but Deaudrey said that Christy might have had a family tragedy.
Christy had a big family tragedy, yeah, with their
What happened?
grandkids. One of them shot the other and killed him.
Intentionally?
Well, I mean, it's like 2 and 3-year-olds or something, or
Oh, so
2 and
somebody got a hold of a
4-year-olds, right?
gun.
And her son, her husband quit his job too. So she announced it on the lifeboat. I mean, I hope this doesn't sound like I'm spreading gossip. She announced it on the lifeboat.
No, these are people who we are connected through all of these. And I have not been dialed in because I have been working so much on myself, trying to get this to a place
Right.
where I could focus more on this. And my environment, my home environment, I had to get these projects done, or I was going to go nuts and I was going to feel like a failure, and it just had to get done. So this is not spreading gossip. This is just information for all of us. And it
Yeah, I
allows us to
mean,
fill in the blanks, because
it's
that would
awful. I
explain.
mean, I can't even imagine like one
No.
child should,
Yeah.
commit a
If
senior
they're
and
that young, that's not an intentional
yeah.
thing. So
Oh
that's
no.
just
Yeah.
absolutely horrid.
Yeah. But then, I mean, wasn't there, and I don't even want to get into legal complications, but there was just a case recently where they blamed the parents
Yeah. Yeah.
for them
They,
doing that.
they can, yeah, they can do that. They can hold them liable depending on
Yeah.
where it was, whether it was
Yeah. What
locked.
state
Yeah.
laws.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
um, is she pausing her channel then?
I don't know that.
Okay, she hasn't made an announcement, at least that you know of, but I would imagine probably so.
Yeah, she
Unless
was just she made the announcement. She stayed in the chat for a little while and I haven't seen her since
okay,
because the
yeah,
needing a meeting was suspended
yep.
and I
And so
haven't seen her since.
I would have a feeling that she's probably gonna put her thing on hold as well, unless she wanted to talk about something. Then she may come on her show or whatever. But
And I'm not even sure. Did she have a consistent schedule? Like I'm not sure. I get notifications when
yeah,
she
I
does
don't know
something.
that. Yeah, I don't think she had a consistent schedule, but she
Yeah.
was doing things fairly frequently.
She was doing things more. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Absolutely.
lot. I mean, it seemed like almost every day or every other day, so it was quite frequent.
Mhm.
So between Ben, myself, Misha, if she's going to be, coming on here, I know that Janet has just started a channel, and so I mean, brand spanking new. Like, I think she's
Yeah.
not even up to the 50 subscribers to go live yet. So
I'm not even sure I'm subscribed to her, but I need to because
I told her I
she's my friend. But
yesterday, and I'm like, I don't think I'm subscribed to you. I haven't gotten there yet, but I will. So
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know what it's called, but
it's at
and
Janet something. Oh, she gave it to me, and I don't have it
okay.
here.
Yeah, I don't know what the channel is, and I don't
I
know.
trying to see if I can look it up real quick because I know she sent it to me. And that I was like, oh, shoot. Yes, I need
I'm going to
to.
see if I can try to, on my iPad, watch, see what Awaken's doing.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. I should, I could have put it up on my phone. I didn't even think about that. I don't know.
you. How's everybody doing? Anybody have anything they
Okay,
That's
Ben's
Ben.
talking.
I was just hearing, that's Ben.
Right.
that kind of thing? Hi, Shannon Smith. How you doing? Sandy Wendy, Larry Nickerson.
Can you let them know that we're live too?
Okay, I will.
Yeah, and say that, you know, some people here, we might bop back and forth.
Wow.
She's going to use that one.
Miss Dragon, Larry, yeah, there's Larry again. Okay.
I'm
Of course,
trying to find.
There's only a.
I can't. I probably blew right past it. It's probably buried in a chat, and I didn't even realize it. And I've gone right past it.
Yes, Larry Nicholson. Is anyone doing anything for the weekend?
Yeah, I'll have to grab it from her.
You guys will celebrate Independence Day. It's amazing.
Oh, there's Mock. Janet.G3011. So just put the at symbol. You can search for it and just put the at symbol before it. And be able to
Larry,
get
you're
that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I better take a photo of it because, yeah, it's hard. I'm listening to this.
Right. Well, and it's a different. It's not just a Janet G, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, I'll take a
not
photo
as
of
easy
it.
to.
I don't know. I keep getting subscribers, and I don't even have a channel, and people subscribe to me.
My personal one gets subscribers occasionally, and I'm like, literally, I have like a 5-second video of my son and I doing Legos on it. That's like the only thing on it.
I have nothing, and I have 10 subscribers, and I'm like, what are people subscribing to?
Yeah, I don't know how that. I'm looking up at like 11, the same thing, where it's just like there's nothing, and I have no idea why people are there. But
I mean, it's nice that people like me enough to subscribe to nothing.
Just in case one day, if you do decide, we're first on the list to know about it.
If I throw up a video of me like doing my hair or something,
and there you go, washing dishes, you know, talking whatever.
I should put up dog videos, right? The dogs running around.
Geez. Hey Janet, how are you? We just put up your channel. I guess Nisha is live right now, and Ben is on. I'm kind of surprised that she chose 7 to do it, but whatever. I mean, and this isn't a competition, so like I said, if people want to bop over there, they're more than welcome to. I'm not going to be offended. So, you know, either one. Yeah, Shannon was on here because she was dialing me into what was going on with Need a Meeting and with Christie's situation. I knew none of it because I'm just not dialed in. But Janet, you will be pleased to know that my living room is now clean, and all of my blankets are clean, except for Moki's, because my cat, I cannot wash that. Otherwise he will never use it again, because he has this one little spot that he has, and that's his licking spot. And he's, you know, so it will never be washed probably till it like breaks into pieces. Mine does too. I'll reach out to her and just, you know, I'll just send her a message. I had no idea that any of this had happened. So Saturday we will talk about trauma and sleep and anything anybody else needs to talk about. All right. That's one thing it's kind of always been there, but I haven't really re-announced it at all. If anybody ever has something that's pressing that they want to talk about, if they want to just mention it in the chat, or if they want to come on like Shannon, you can come on like Shannon. You can also black your screen out so you don't have to be seen. You can come on, but your voice will be live, just like mine, and we can talk. More than happy to put that in with whatever we're talking about that day. It doesn't have to be related to what we're talking about. It can be something
Yeah.
totally different. If you just feel like you need to talk about something, please bring it up. First and foremost, we are a community. We are a community that is, yes, tied by certain traumas, but we are also here for each other for whatever that means. So for whatever your needs are at this particular moment, that's what we will definitely try and fill. So feel free to use this as like a meeting if you want to come on or just want to talk about something. It does not have to be related to what I'm talking about. Okay.
Great.
And I will keep mentioning, I will try and remember. And if I don't, somebody else, remind me to mention it to people that we can all talk about that. That's it, Crystal. Body memories is the other thing on my list. I was actually, though, it was these two. And the body memories is a little more in-depth research for me. I really wanted to read The Body Keeps the Score again before I did that. But I can do kind of like an intro to it. I mean, we've talked a little bit, just about how the nervous system, remembers the trauma and reacts to it. But
The cells of your body remember.
yeah.
I'm a massage therapist, and
Mhm.
so one of the things we go over is sometimes when you're doing body work, sometimes trauma can be released when
Yes,
you're doing body work,
absolutely.
and so every cell of your body has a memory to it. Other than and people can get really emotional and tell you all sorts of things when you're doing massage, and
I saw a video that I tagged. I have not watched it yet, but it is about talking to your individual cells, helping to heal your trauma.
Wow.
Don't know exactly. It is by a doctor, somebody, so we'll see. So yes, that is, Crystal, definitely on my list of things that I'm working on. If you have anything pressing that you want to talk about with it, any specific issue, feel free to either bring it up now or on Saturday when I'm live. I'm going to do, I do my 15 minutes or so, kind of presentation-ish, information that I'm giving to you guys on the topic. And then it's a free-for-all, So if you've got other things, and we're going to switch to other things, but I am going to be doing that research as well. So I will have some things that I can talk about on Saturday too, in regards to body memories and things like that. And I'll make sure and key it in. If you email me, Crystal, and email me some more specifics about like what you're having trouble with, I can gear my research a little bit more and just, veer it towards something that might speak to you a little bit more than some of the other, because it's a huge topic to cover. And as I said, when somebody brought it up, that would definitely be a multi-parter, because there's so much that you can talk about with it.
And I like the sleep aspect too, because I struggle with sleep a lot.
Yes. So we'll both be doing them. Incredible pain from your down. Huh. And you have no medical diagnosis for it. I'm taking it.
Oh my gosh.
Is this just the abdomen? You say waist down. Is that does it go into your legs, or is it just mainly with your abdomen? That so yeah, that's definitely a question to have answered, to see where we're talking about.
Because Janet is right. It could be scar tissue from hysterectomy. Because you can
Oh.
get adhesions from surgery.
Absolutely. That's the only reason I have sciatica is because I have scar tissue that presses on my
Okay.
nerve. So
Yeah.
it, and if you had any pain before, there's also phantom pains, that could be playing into it as well. So yeah, I'd be interested to know, like, when you say waist down, how far down are we talking about?
Is it down the legs? Because then
Right.
that starts getting into sciatic.
Yeah.
If it goes like all the way down your leg, then that could be sciatic.
Goes into your legs as well. Your chiro can help release some of the pain, but not always. And
Have you had massage, Crystal?
I said, I'm guessing it's low back that is doing the release. Huh. It almost sounds like round ligaments in there as well. Because those, wrap around, and that pain can be very intense.
Yeah, I know not everybody can afford massages, but
Yeah.
it might be worth a try.
And I don't know what it is all down the legs.
In Canada. Yeah, that's right.
It's body works, nothing helps in the moment. Yeah, have you had massage, Crystal? Because if you could identify a therapist and like get into one soon after you have an episode, or as soon as you can, and see what they could do, that would be really, an interesting situation. Do it when you're not on fire, and then, have them do one soon after, and they might be able to compare and contrast for that too. It's sounding like she's that there is no. Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay. I understand.
Yep.
I get that. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Well, let me see what I can find out. Let me just, I will, that gives me some information to type into some searches, and I'll see kind of what comes up, and we'll go from there. So we will talk about sleep and body on Saturday then. How about that? It'll be a split one. Hey, Mon, how you doing? So glad you're here. Oh yeah, back issues can travel down the legs. Yeah, I'm walking proof of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, anybody with sciatic knows, and I've got it.
Yep.
I mean, it does just everybody get it as you get older, I wonder.
It almost seems that way.
It's like a rite of passage as
Yeah.
you get old. It's like, oh, my sciatic, boy.
Stretching and walking are, I take pregabalin Lyrica for my sciatica, but I want to get off of it. I've been on it for so many years, and I'm starting to get the long-term effects of it. And we didn't know there were long-term effects because we were on it in the beginning when it kind of, was
What is the
coming out.
long-term effects of it?
Well, one of them, and the one that's most noticeable for me, is just involuntary spasms and muscle spasms, and a little bit of tremors, not too much, but I have noticed some. Audrey, take care of yourself. Go to bed.
Good night.
She has got some lung issues, some cold, pneumonia, or something of that nature.
Right.
It's just, gotten really sick, and she's under a whole lot of stress with the move and everything. So yes, take care of yourself and get some really good sleep. So mwah to you, Audrey. Yeah, the muscle, the involuntary muscle spasms be
Hi,
something
Todd.
like, you'll just feel like here, and it just goes. you know, or your leg, you just feel your leg, you feel the muscle on your leg go boom. It's nothing major, but it started out like every great once in a while it would happen. And I was like, huh, that was weird. And then it just kind of became more frequent till it was every day and then multiple times during the day.
Mm.
But you know what's weird? And until I'm talking to you right now, I didn't know. I have been so active these past 3 days doing stuff. I have not noticed them.
See, being active can
It
really.
seriously, I know walking and
Make-
stretching are the two things that can keep my sciatic at bay. And I'm banking on it. I'm banking 100% on it because it, for me, it is all about keeping that piriformis muscle loose.
Absolutely.
Because that is what presses on my scar tissue, that presses on my sciatica. So it's just
That's why I keep the ball in my suitcase.
perfect. Exactly. It's this
I
perfect
have the little
domino
ball in my
thing. I
suitcase.
know. I probably have a permanent bruise on my butt right there.
It's very portable, so I can take it with me because, like, right now I'm in a hotel. So
Oh, yep. That's why I got my baseball right here, sitting right here.
I don't know if you guys want to hear something creepy or kind of funny or kind of creepy, but also a little sexual.
I don't care. Todd, hey, hello. So glad to hear you.
I'm in Pittsburgh right now,
Oh, okay.
and they're having
Oh, they having
a
a swingers
huge
party there?
furry. They have a
Oh,
huge
it's a
furry
furry
convention.
convention. I had a client who was a furry.
Okay. It just was like, oh my gosh. Downstairs, I just like, they kind of approach, and then I'm like, I'm thinking they're mascots from like football teams or something.
Right, you don't, right.
I don't have any
It's
idea what's
not your
going on.
first
And
thought.
they
Is
kind of
that these
approach
people wear
me,
it
and I
all
don't
day.
react, and then they like back off.
Right, they're like,
And,
oh, you're not
I
one
saw
of
them
us.
kind
Okay.
of they were exchanging cards in the elevator. This one girl's like, "Oh, I like your horns," and he's like, "Oh, here's my card," and I'm like, "Oh, holy cow!" I'm like, "Holy cow, what is this?" And the
Yeah.
bartender said he heard that they just have huge orgies everywhere, and I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I know the
No
swingers
way.
parties, when they take over the hotels, they get wacko. They get whack. I know several people who are in that community, and whew, it gets
Well,
pretty out
apparently
there.
the 4th of July in Pittsburgh.
4th of July in Pittsburgh.
There we
Okay,
go.
see, you've still got time, Todd. You still got time to make it out there.
They're crazy.
Yes.
You-
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
I didn't
imagine
know.
being.
I thought you were
You
closer to
seriously
Philly,
them
Todd.
in the summertime? I could not. Now I know there are some people who wear them 24/7. Like they cannot go out in public without wearing them. There are other people.
Really?
Yeah. There are other people who only wear them like at home or with other furries or something like that. It's when they're interacting like on a one-on-one basis or in a social thing.
Oh.
That's what they have to be. But they would go to a job in just a regular.
Oh, okay. They
suit
can
type
do
thing.
some sort of relating without.
But it's
Without.
their social thing. So there's different levels of it, and it's different.
Well,
It's
I've
a
seen different
5-hour
things.
drive to a lot of fun. It's sounding like, Todd. So please, you can come on Saturday and live stream if they're still there, and just let me know, and we'll pop you on, and you can let me know how it's going.
Oh, Sophia, you mentioned the costumes being hot. The bartender said by the 3rd day they all smell awful.
I bet.
It's hot too. It's 92 degrees in Pittsburgh today.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh
So
my
hot.
Lord.
And they're wearing these big like mascot outfits. Like I thought they were like, I don't know, because I don't know teams or I don't know college teams or mascots. I just thought, well, wow, there's a lot of weird mascots.
It's a mascot convention.
I have no idea.
There's a huge one in Chicago, I know,
Really?
and that's I do believe it's summertime because I remember my client was up in Newaygo or Mount Pleasant or something. It was north and it was still warm. That's what I remember. And if I'm warm that far north, then it's
Yeah.
definitely going to be warm in Chicago. So
No, I would
Um,
think the fall would be a better. I mean, if you're gonna wear a furry costume, it'd be better if it were cooler out. I'm just
what?
saying.
Yeah. Ugh. How do you clean them? I mean,
You'd have to have them dry clean. And then can you
y-
imagine COVID? Oh my God. Like,
well, for the
I know, I'm
suits
being
you
silly.
can. I mean, some of those are probably even machine washable, the suit things, but
You
the
think?
headpieces, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, those, yeah.
How you clean those and get that. Whew, that's
Well, that's why you said that they really smell by the third day. Like, he's
yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
awful.
I,
But
I,
he
I
said it's the
totally
biggest thing that they have in Pittsburgh. Like, it pays their bills for like the whole year doing this convention. So they're spending a lot of money in Pittsburgh. Apparently. That's what the
wow.
bartender says.
Wow, Todd, it might be worth that drive if this is the thing that is putting up Pittsburgh. You know,
Janet, you're right. They do have a lot of them have their eyes covered. Even the guy
yeah,
that
they do have the mesh.
yeah. And I said, "Well, how do you know male or female?" And the bartender was like, "I think that's some part of the appeal is that you don't know." I don't know. I mean,
Uh,
some people. There was one guy who was 7 foot tall. Now, I wasn't going to mistake him for a girl, right? I mean,
and probably their voice. I mean, most often if you
do
spoke
you,
to them.
do you know I did in the elevator when I was in the elevator with the guy with the horn, and then it was a girl dressed normal, and she said, "Oh, I like your horn."
Just trying to be
Like, oh,
complimentary.
and he didn't say anything. So it was like it was all like hush hush. He just handed her a card. So you didn't know. I assumed by his body type he was a guy, but I really don't know. And she was kind of androgynous. And I was just and this was before I knew it was a furry convention. And I was just like, well, that's weird. You
Huh.
know.
I don't know. Maybe they don't. Well, again,
Maybe part of the appeal is not knowing
it could
is
be,
a
or they
complete
don't
mystery.
talk outside of the convention out. So that's why he's handing our card. If you want to speak to us or whatever, here's
If you
where we
yeah.
are or whatever. That's like an invitation card
It
type of
was
thing.
interesting. It was really
God, that's so bad.
no, they don't. They have no air conditioning. The
No,
one guy was in a police dog uniform with a police badge and the whole thing. He was a
Paw
7 foot tall
Patrol.
guy.
Paw Patrol. That's taking their kids show to a whole different level.
I'm sorry. This is kind of the inappropriate place to bring it up, but
This is just a channel, right? It again, we are all connected because of some sort of trauma, but that doesn't mean that we have to always talk about trauma and about the serious stuff. Sometimes the best healing is laughter and it's
and
just
it is.
having fun and a good time. Now, if anybody out there is uncomfortable with
Yeah.
any of the conversation that goes on, please speak up because then we know and it gives me an idea of where my audience is, where the community is. Okay, if we've got this group of people together, this is going to be okay. These people don't like this. And
Yeah. I
so
don't want to offend anybody.
exactly,
It was
exactly.
interesting.
We're adults, we're talking, but if it offends you or you're uncomfortable, please
So,
just say yes. Just say yes.
Todd, you're
Even if there
coming?
wasn't, just say yes, so he'll go.
You know what? I have to be. We're leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm out of here. But so like I'm gonna be setting my alarm for 3:30 in the morning. So
Oh, goodness gracious.
but I didn't know you were close enough to make it to Pittsburgh. I thought you were closer to Philly. You know,
Well,
and
5 hours. It's not.
if I knew you were into furries, I would have definitely let you know that there was a convention going on because
Well, Sandy is in Pennsylvania too.
Oh, she is.
Yeah,
Oh
and
no, part time. She mostly lives in California.
okay, because I know she's always on a plane to somewhere,
Right.
and that's
She actually lives part-time in Pennsylvania, part-time in somewhere in California, I think San
well, she's
Francisco.
from
But she
California
goes to Spain
originally.
a lot too. She goes to Madrid a lot too.
Oh, okay. I
So
know she's originally from. California.
Okay.
So that makes sense. And I'm not sure how the Pennsylvania, I think
I
her
don't know.
marriage, I think got over to the Pennsylvania aspect.
Because I got so confused. She would be, and then, but usually when she says I'm home, she's back in California. So, but she told me she has
Gotcha.
2 homes.
Right. I mean, it makes sense for her.
Oh, okay. You're 5 hours to Pitt. Okay.
Okay. Well, think of the Squirrel Squad. How many of those guys got out? They found squirrel onesies. Oh, they just used it for something else. So it's not weird. You can have a fuzzy onesie. Say that 10 times fast.
Oh, I'm sorry, Crystal. I'm sorry. Stop.
Crystal, when you have calmed, I want you to, if you could, email me a little bit about what it was about that conversation, because I do always want to try and be sensitive to everybody that we have. And it would really help to know what aspect of that was the triggering part, or just a bit uncomfortable for you. Okay, so if you would do that, that would be a huge help for me, especially if we're going to be talking about different subjects and about different things. Anybody, like you said, as we use this as another side of support to fill in for the lack of need a meeting, lack of Christy a little bit. Definitely any subjects that we get into, please take yourself away if you need to. I do always want to seem to know, I always want to know what is triggering for you, so that for one, if I know that I'm going to be covering a subject, if it's something specific and I know that that's going to be towards you, I can email you, or I can try and contact you ahead of time and say, hey, this one might not be for you. But Crystal, please take care of yourself. Definitely. Always first and foremost.
Yeah.
We love
Take care,
you.
Crystal. Yeah, we do. We love you, Crystal.
Yep.
And I didn't mean, I really didn't mean to.
Well, we don't know any of these things until we start getting into them, really, So, and everyone's going to have their own little things, and that's why I just need the information, and to be able to speak to the most of the masses. I think it's fascinating too,
It is fascinating.
Todd.
I think so too.
Any kink that is just way out there, I'll tell you 100% not for me, but I'm fascinated by it. What about it is interesting to you?
That's what I wonder.
Where there's people who, for the same reason people are furries, are attracted to balloons.
Hmm.
Now, thank you, Crystal. I really appreciate it. Exactly, Todd. I had to see a special on it before I didn't even know this was a thing. But yeah, God, I forget what I was watching. And there was like 5 like really strange things that the people who marry metal, like somebody married the Eiffel Tower, somebody married the Berlin Wall when it still existed. So it's the people who fall in love with and attracted to inanimate
Inanimate
objects.
objects.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a whole other headspace. Yeah, Charlie, definitely a role playing.
Yeah, I can see role playing.
I do know that for a lot of people, it is a coping mechanism. It is a way of being able to interact with other people, almost acting. You're able to do it through this character, or through whatever the mask that you have on. So there are a lot of people who are very uncomfortable with themselves, either the way they look, the way they act in social situations. And it definitely, it's become a way that they can actually get out and interact with people. And so I don't want to say, and that's definitely not the reason that everybody, does it. But I do know that the people who take it, who are furries, like more than 50% of their time, that's definitely, there's some trauma based in there that they can't interact one-on-one with people without having a mask, and we talk about wearing your mask all the time.
We all have
People with
social masks, right?
people with ADHD have masks that they've got. You've got your mask that you wear when you first meeting somebody or your boss or
Tracy.
whatever. Other people have just
Hi,
a mask
Charlie.
that they have just for ordinary, because they don't feel that who they are is good enough or whatever. And so this is just another way of having a mask, and it's a physical mask.
So it's a complete mystery. You have, in a way, you can sort of understand the fantasy, I suppose. I mean,
Yeah, there's, and
it's a fantasy, I guess. Not my fantasy, but
exactly. And I bet there's more than one reason that, that it's attractive to people. It's always just the interesting things to go, when did you first realize, when did you get into it? It's that initial jump that is the most interesting to me, because there's some boundary line that you crossed from, okay, we'll just say normal to kink. Let's just put it that way. And what got you there? It's just always, hey, Tracy, how you doing?
yeah, exactly. We all
You don't think you survive
we all use
without a
masks.
mask? Yeah, we're always, it's really hard to be your authentic self with everybody, especially if you're not comfortable with your authentic self, or you don't really know your authentic self, if you're not in touch with your authentic self. And when I say authentic self, and I'm talking about that real person who is in there. And for a lot of us, if we haven't done our healing, haven't done at least a good portion of healing, that authentic self is fractured by the trauma.
Yeah.
And so it's the putting back together of that to know who we are. And that's why I always say it's so important with your boundaries that you have to know who you are first in order to set those boundaries and have them be solid. Because if you don't, and if you're not sure about that, it's going to allow people to be able to push those just that much more.
It just happened to me all the time. Absolutely. Where, you move that boundary a little bit further, you move it a little bit further.
Yep.
And then, next thing you know, you're like, oh gosh, how did I get into this?
Yeah, that my
How did
20s,
this
and that explains my 20s and 30s really, because
Me too.
and I even remember, like, in my 20s, people would be talking about something and I'd be like, I have no idea what I think on that. None. No clue. I have no experience. I have nothing to relate to. There's
Oh,
just
see, I
nothing.
thought I knew everything at 20. I knew everything. I had life all figured out.
Oh, wow.
I in for a surprise that I knew
Yeah.
nothing. I still know nothing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I was just thrown to the wolves after I graduated. Everyone, it was about graduate college. So I
Yep.
graduated college, and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Nobody told
Now
me
what?
that. Now what?
Exactly. That's what
And
happened
I
to me
just was
too.
like, yeah, and just going, right.
I'll go back and hit the like button. I forgot.
Yeah. So, yes, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment afterwards,
Hit the
bell
bell
for
for
notifications,
notifications.
all that good stuff. Thank you, Mon. Thank you for reminding.
Exactly, Tracy. Didn't we? We knew
Yeah, I
everything.
thought you knew everything and then figured out you
Wow,
didn't. It,
it's crazy.
Mon, I don't know if many of us see the finished product. I think that the putting together of ourselves, it's for us trauma victims, it's always a work in progress, you know. Um, but I
And you're
do
never
think,
failing, Todd. Todd, you're not failing.
mm-mm, you're
You're a work
working.
in process, just like I am.
Yep.
We're a work in process, right?
And everybody is at different points.
Yeah.
And just because I've dealt with A, B, and C, I might not have dealt with, D and E. And Shannon, you may have already dealt with those,
Hmm.
but you hadn't figured out how to deal with some of the things that I had already. So there's no order, there's no set order to dealing with trauma. And, usually it's what is most important to you at that point in your life
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of
Nobody
trying
told
to
me.
put your
Did
pieces
anybody ever
together.
tell you adulting was this hard? I know nobody ever told
Right.
me adulting.
Exactly.
Wow.
My son turns 18 here very soon. And yes, we're definitely welcome to the world of adults, and he's all excited about all these things. He goes, what can I do now that I'm turning 18? I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I'm like, yeah, and you can pay all your own bills and you can do all this. And you go, well, huh?
That's right.
Hang on,
Go
I'm
get a
so
mortgage,
little.
go sign a lease, go
Yeah.
pay for your cable, electric, water. Yippee.
Yes, we are all hot messes. Exactly. Perfectly imperfect. We're always going to be working. The goal is to have enough of the major pieces put together that you do feel a sense of yourself. And when I say self, I mean that authentic self.
Mm,
You're never going to be the person who you would have been had you not had that trauma. You're
no.
not going to put the pieces back together in the same order that they would have been pre-trauma. It's just not going to happen. Can never happen. But you can put them together in a good order and you can make yourself into a good whole being. But you're always going to be working on something. Everybody is, even without a major trauma in their
Yeah,
lives,
absolutely.
So never feel like you're behind the eight ball, that you're not, you're not up to snuff of, and please don't compare with any of us. Like I say, there's no trauma comparison. There's also no in progress healing comparison either, because your life has been totally different than mine. Your experiences have been totally different. The trauma that you had and in the order that you had it, totally different from mine. So your healing is going to be 100% different than mine, as it would be to Shannon. And it doesn't matter, male, female, old, young, whatever. All of us, because we are unique individuals, we're going to be in different places. And like I said, there is no one way of healing. One of the things that I've been coming across as I've been kind of gathering information for some of these bigger topics that we want to talk about is different ways of trauma healing without therapy, because therapy is not always an option for all of us. And how can we do that? There's one doctor is talking about how to release trauma in the body through various methods. Somebody else is speaking about how to deal with them through connection. And so there's a whole bunch of ways that we can help heal ourselves. Therapy, obviously, when you have somebody guiding you who's a professional, who is, especially if they are an expert in trauma therapy, that's the pinnacle. Like that would be the one thing that you should have in your life. But if you can't, you do the next best thing and you work on yourself anyway. And those are some of the things that are definitely going to be coming out as we deal with some of these bigger topics. So you're never failing.
I was wondering, because what is being recommended for me is ketamine therapy. And I was wondering if you had an opinion on that.
My opinion on ketamine is that I know it's worked for a lot of people, but the only way that I would feel comfortable with it is if I was under somebody who was either a doctor.
Oh, this is
Okay.
completely under therapy, medical therapy.
I wouldn't have a problem with it, whether you're talking about psilocybin or whether you're talking about ketamine. I think if it's done right, then it has worked for a lot of people. And if ketamine doesn't work, psilocybin might. It's, not a one size fits all.
I wish psilocybin was available in Florida. It's not legal in Florida. The states are so crazy.
Right. It's not here either. I know that in Michigan's so conservative anyway, but I do know that there are states now too that are doing, they're bringing up MDMA to be able to, medical doctors to be able to administer it so there are options coming, if they're not right here, right now, there are options on the way in terms of utilizing alternative methods, alternative medicine. So,
I mean, it's scary to me because I never really used those kinds of drugs. Like
I would make sure, this is what I would do is I would make sure that the doctor has explained every step of the way to me and explain the dosages and explained, how much the dosages are. I would be taking meticulous notes about all of that. And then I would be doing some of my own research and I'd be looking at the success stories. And I would also be researching failure stories. And why did it fail? Did it fail because they were doing it themselves? Did it fail because maybe it just didn't work with their body, which is possible? Or did it fail because they were, the medicine, it was too great of a dosage, they were trying to supplement, they were taking other things, a lot of different reasons. So I certainly would be doing my research with that. I have a little bit more of a concern with ketamine than I do with psilocybin, just because of what it is.
Me too. I would much rather have psilocybin. Like I've thought about going to a state where psilocybin is legal, and because I'm able to travel with the flight benefits. So
I don't understand how they have Mind Bloom is a online company, and they'll mail it to you. They mail you the microdosing to do at home.
Janet, that's how it is for me too. But all my doctors are covered. What's not covered is the drug because it's considered experimental.
Right.
So it's expensive.
Yep.
They recommend 10 dosages, which is $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to try one dose, it's $500. So take that times 10. So they're giving you a $1,500 discount. But what if you're like, whoa, dude, this isn't for me, but then you have to pay $500 for the first one.
Right.
So, it's used for depression, trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to, there are success stories, and then you hear failure stories, another stuff. I mean, I've also looked into the ayahuasca in Costa Rica and doing that.
I definitely would be looking at those failure stories with a critical eye because I'd be wanting to know what dosages were they taking? Were they under a doctor's care? Were they taking what other medications were they taking, or what other just drugs, substances were they taking? Were they smoking weed along with it? Maybe those two aren't going to go together. Who knows? Bottom line is
the ultimate
your body
failure
is different than theirs.
Look at the ultimate failure was Matthew Perry.
Well, and he was taking additional of it on top of it.
So he was doing it on his own.
Yep. So you've got to look at all of that information, and I just would research it heavily and make sure that you're feeling comfortable with who you're with and the dosages that they're doing. Compare it to the dosages that other people or other doctors are recommending or whatever. If they're on the same wavelength, great. If they're different, then you need to go back to your doctor and go, hey, what's the deal? These are different. Explain to me why they would do this and you would do this, whether it's higher or lower. And if they can't, to me, that's an indicator. They need to know this drug backwards and forwards and how it affects people and how it affects different people differently. And I would want all that information from them too. How long have you been doing this? How many patients have you done? What kind of reactions have they had? Has it ever not worked for somebody? If it did, what did that look like? And just interview the doctor. It's an interview because you're going to be putting out a lot of money for it. And, B, you're looking at as not a cure-all for your entire life, but to really help with a huge chunk. And so you want to get just as much information as you possibly can. But that's the researcher in me that comes out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot more about psilocybin than I have ketamine, and I
Right.
feel a lot more comfortable with that because I've read so much good about that.
Yeah.
I
If
don't
the
know.
Army's using it, it can't be too terrible, right?
Well, they're using that in PTSD and stuff
Yep.
when they come back.
Yep.
So if they can have it, why can't I have it in Florida?
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't
So
make sense.
federally you can have it, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Make it while you're in the air.
We don't have marijuana for recreation either. You have to have a script. So. And I can't do it anyways because of my job. So
take a leave of absence from your job, but fly. And so do it in the air because it's federal up there, right?
Yeah.
We'll find loopholes somewhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
I have my tattoo that I need to get. I wanted somebody to go with me, and Jen was going to go, but she's got her own issues right now, and Janet can't get across the darn border, and so
when are you gonna go?
We got issues.
I'm supposed to be in Detroit Sunday. When are you gonna go?
Oh, that's so funny. I don't know. Just like whenever. There's a place that I've picked here in Grand Rapids that's a place. But I could just as easily go to another place. I was going to go to DC to visit a friend Wednesday. And then it dawned on me as I was like saying to my son, I said, oh, Wednesday I might go visit a friend. And oh, okay. How long are you going to be gone? Well, I don't know, 3-4 days, something like that. Oh, okay. And I'm like, why are you? I'm like, is it an issue? He's like, no, you can be gone. That's fine. I'm totally cool by myself. I know he is because I've been gone on the weekend before. Didn't even dawn on me that his birthday falls right in the beginning. I was like, it just, and even tonight, earlier today, I was at my parents going, yeah, the day before we will celebrate here because they're going to do a friends thing on his birthday. So we'll celebrate here. Full well, the dates are right in the middle of that thing. Do you think either one of them connected for me? Nope.
That happens.
I was just like, woohoo. So yeah, I've got to try and I need to renew my passport too, but my dad's checking to see if he's got my birth certificate in his files because I can't quite locate it here.
I don't think you needed to renew. You already have one, or did yours expire?
Well, I have one. Yeah, expired 22 years ago though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say when I renew my passport, I didn't.
No, if you're doing it, and now if you're doing it within that 10-year period, or just at the end of that, you could do it online. You don't even have to go in and mail anything in. Because I was checking, I'm like, oh, I can do it online. No, I don't qualify. So I was like, darn it all. So yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, that's good.
Bye, Janet.
I should do that. Oh, bye, Janet. Yeah, I should do that then.
Absolutely. Just check on online passport renewal and it pulls it up and it gives you all the information as to whether or not you can click through this portal. Otherwise, Hit the
They've
mail,
gotten real
people.
strict with us. This month, they're starting to check your passport, no matter if you're going domestic or international. And you're like, I don't always have my passport if I'm not going international. So,
No.
but,
Why would
but
you?
there's always a possibility you could like divert to Canada or something, or divert to Mexico or whatever.
Is
But
that just for the flight people or
that's for
passengers
us. Yeah,
too? Yeah, just
that's
for
for
you
us. I
guys.
mean, I did know it
Okay.
was the rule that you were supposed to have your passport with you, but there were times when I didn't get around to renewing my passport where I'm like, okay, I'm only bidding domestic trips because I
Right,
can't get my
exactly.
passport off.
I'm just gonna go from here to here.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well,
Or
yeah,
if you
you
get
need
the
the real
real
ID.
ID.
Hmm.
We have in Michigan what is called the enhanced driver's license. And this was supposed to get us into Canada.
Oh,
And I think it did up until COVID. And
oh,
I don't think it gets you in there anymore. I need to double check on that. Real ID, no passport required.
yeah, but that's
What
not for Canada. For
I never
Canada, I'm
heard.
pretty sure you need a passport. They've got
Yeah.
another thing too, though, that you can get for Canada, US, and I forget what it's called, but it's like something to expedite it to get you through. But I forget
Oh,
what
okay.
it's called.
I'm gonna have to double check on Michigan's enhanced driver's license and see exactly what the benefit of having it, because it's like an extra $25 or something. And that was the bonus, is that it just, it got you across and that you could go back and forth. But
You go to Caesar's Palace in Windsor.
there you go, exactly. Well, Janet flew
Yeah.
to Waterloo, and so Waterloo, Kitchener, so she's really right over the border, not too far,
Right
just a
over
couple
there, right?
miles over the border there.
Mhm.
And we were going to meet up, but I'm like, I don't have my passport. And Janet's like, I haven't renewed mine, so now we couldn't go. Nobody could go either way. We're like, okay, next time, right? So
So Waterloo's close to Detroit? I didn't know that. I
it's
thought
like
wasn't it close to Toronto?
it's like it's about 2.5 hours, I think.
Oh, okay.
She said about 2.5 hours. So it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
too bad. For me, Toronto's 5.5 hours from Grand Rapids because we go this way. So we go like up through Saginaw, Port Huron to get to there.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of going over and up like this. So we just go on a straight diagonal, and it's only 5.5 hours, which is just incredible. Europe has a biometric ID that works for most of Europe. Oh, how wonderful.
Does it just work for the EU nations? Probably.
That's what I'm guessing, yeah, because he's saying most of Europe. So
Because it seems like, I mean, they are sort of one country, one monetary unit, but not, that's
yeah,
the big thing with England pulling out of the EU, the Brexit and all that.
yeah, they wanted to be different.
Or they wanted to stop the immigration, kind of like we did. But
Don't get me started on that.
But yeah, I guess they got tired of people moving in. So,
Yeah, they definitely.
but it's so expensive to live in England. I don't know why you would want, like, if you ever look at the cost of living there, it's insane because I looked into it. It's
Oh,
insane
really?
cost of living, yeah.
Oh, wow. I was just looking back at some of the chats that I missed, and Mark is having a phoenix inked on the shoulder at some point. Burn and rise from the ashes. That is a wonderful symbolism.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
That would be just incredible. My son wanted, okay, so my husband was nicknamed Spider-Man, Spider Mike actually, but and don't ask, long story. But so he has, and because he had the spider on his hand, and there were so many Mikes in our dojo, so they all got nicknames. So they went to get matching tattoos, and they got these big spiders right here. I'm like, okay, it's matching with your dad. I'll allow you, you guys get what you want. And it is a cool looking spider, I'll tell you that, for a spider, but it's a spider. But then he goes, you know what? I should get all these little baby spiders, like going up like this and going over my shoulder. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not your girlfriend. And his girlfriend was like, hell no. That is creepy
Find a new
AF.
girl.
Just like, I'm like, yeah, I think you're pushing it there. You know,
Find a new
maybe
girl.
next girlfriend, if if you go on to that. That just
Good night,
yikes.
Todd.
That is just yikes. Okay, so there we go. Todd, have a good one. Not just EU, but EU's automatic. The Swiss aren't EU, but follow most of the EU travel stuff. That's cool. It makes things so much easier. Well, you guys are so much closer. I mean, it's kind of like traveling around New England,
They're like states.
like small states,
Yeah.
not like Texas size.
No.
So, or Florida size, going this way to this way, right? It takes forever.
Yeah. California. Yeah. Huge.
Montana.
Oh, Montana. Yeah. Those are the states I haven't been to, like the Montanas, the Dakotas. I'm trying to hit every state. I have 8 more to go.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've been to California, but I've only been to San Diego because I flew into San Diego and then I flew back out.
San Diego's beautiful.
But other than that, I have not been west of the Mississippi.
Wow.
East of the Mississippi, I've hit just about everything. Not quite. I've got some New England states I need to go to, but otherwise everything that way. It's just because, the Iowa is on this side of the Mississippi, and I lived in Iowa, so I got South Dakota on my list, but I didn't get all the way up to North Dakota.
Oh, you got South Dakota?
That's only because South Dakota was like right over the border from Sioux City. So it's just like you have
Really?
South Dakota and Sioux City, Iowa. So yeah.
I didn't know it was that close to. Okay.
Iowa, yeah, it's right above it. And Sioux City is in the far northwest corner of it. So it's like Nebraska's right here and South Dakota's right there. So you can kind of the tri-state area that no one ever wanted.
Really?
Like
for me, the tri-state area in Michigan was Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. So.
Oh, yeah. For some people, it's Indiana and Ohio and Illinois.
Oh, okay. Well, we had a cottage that was right on the border of all of that. Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, like right there. Like,
okay. Yep.
I don't know if you know where Coldwater, Hillsdale, Irish Hills.
I used to live in Kalamazoo.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too far from Coldwater.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour-ish. So, no, I definitely know where all that is. Cool.
Well, I think I'm going to hop off and go to bed since I have to be up early.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's not early. That's middle of the night. That's just
the crack of midnight.
Yeah. Go have a nap and then you'll be back up again.
I will. And
all right, Shannon. Well,
thanks for providing a great channel. I love your channel. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys make it. Like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the support that we have. And all of you guys are so wonderful to each other. And that just warms the cockles of my heart. So fly safe. All right. Take care.
Okay, good
Get
night.
home safe. All right. Night, Shannon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Hang on. I have got to have a drink. Anybody here from over from Misha's live? I'll get with her afterwards. I think I'm going to talk to her tomorrow anyway. And I'll see what she's thinking. With Ben being on, I think her and Ben may have already spoken too, so that would be good. I'll throw my hat in the ring in terms of filling in some holes for where Need a Meeting is going to be. My schedule's a little bit flexible, so I can do some different times. I can add a Sunday. I've got to take care of the weekend. People who don't, have different jobs, can cover some more different times on the weekdays. We'll make it work. There will be support for everybody. It may not be as easy in terms of just going to one place as you're used to, but there will be support available. And we'll make sure that we'll get that information out and available to everybody. And so we will definitely try to dial in a schedule. I think that that's going to be most important for everybody, especially since we're going to be sharing the burden amongst different channels, so that you guys can always, like you have here, I go Wednesday at 7, Saturdays at 3, unless I'm postponing or canceling for some odd reason. Only postponed once, I've canceled twice. Otherwise, you're always going to find me here on those times. So we'll try and have the other ones be set times. Now, this first week or two, you know, it may change a little bit, and that may just have to do with kind of finding the sweet spot for you guys. If somebody's able to come on at like 4:30, it's 4:30 Eastern is what time Carol's was for me, 4:40. But if somebody's able to fill that spot, great. You know, if not, we might have to play around with the times a little bit, you know, weekday times, kind of see what works for most people. And then we'll get things, you know, dialed in absolute. I am still looking to actually get my schedule put on my homepage. I'm trying to figure out how to get that added to the banner. So I am not very good at this, but I'll figure out a way somehow. Worst case, I will put out a community post. So once there's been any changes to my schedule, there will be a community post. So definitely make sure that you have your bell clicked and that you have the all, because sometimes my bell would just change to different options. You know, I ended up, it was on personalized. I'm like, I never put it on personalized. I have no idea why it would be that way. So check your bell setting just to make sure. So if it's all, you should be getting a notification for a community post when I've dialed in. And we'll try to have everybody do that. So we'll be putting out what I will. Blah. I'm thinking as I'm talking. Can you tell? So as the times get set in, I will be putting them on my community post. So I would just be adding them basically. So you will always be able to go to my community post and see who's got what at what time. I will be adding to that. So we'll have it all in one place. And I will encourage the other people, the other channels, to do the same, so that if you happen to be on their channel, that you'll be able to see, where can I go at this time? Where can I go tomorrow? Who's on whatever. And so we'll endeavor to make sure that everybody's got that schedule up. So absolutely, mayonnaise, you know, and my email is open to everybody always. Okay. I will always respond to you guys as much as I can. Right now, the community is small enough that, you know, I have no problem communicating with you guys, no problem responding to all the emails that I receive. So Surviving Together, SASS@gmail.com. If you have topics that you want to hear about, if there's things that you want to do, if there's times for this, you know, fill-in spots that you would like to see, please email me, you know. And if it's something that I know that I'm not going to be able to do, I'll pass it on to our group of creators and see who might be able to do that, or see who's going to be the closest. Okay. And if there's a topic that lends itself better to a different channel, you know, I'll let you know that as well. But like I said, I'm willing to talk about just about anything on this channel. I don't want to alienate people. However, I know that even on the best of times, I can talk about certain trauma subjects and it may trigger somebody. And it's just the way that it is, because we're all different and we all come from different traumas in terms of our specifics. So there might be things that do. So 100% always look out for yourself. Mentally take a check-in with yourself. If you're feeling uncomfortable with the conversation, you're finding yourself like not wanting to engage, check in with yourself and say, hey, why is this going on? Am I getting triggered? We do not want to throw you into an anxiety or a panic attack, or even just, an extreme uncomfortableness. All right. So step out if you need to. And please, if you do have triggers, if you can let me know about them, just email me about them. All right. And I will try and be sensitive to those. And like I said, if I have contact information, if I'm going to be covering a topic that I know is directly on point for you, I will do my best to let you know ahead of time and say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. You might want to either step this one out, watch it on replay so you can stop whenever you want. Those might be better options than being in the live for you. Okay. And that is with any time I'm covering a topic. And that's why I always also have the trigger warning on every single video that I do, because I never know what we're going to talk about, but usually it's trauma related of some sort. And even if it's not directly trauma related, we got into a discussion of furries. I do believe that for a chunk of people, there's a trauma base as to why they ended up getting into that. But something about that was a trigger for one of our people in our community. Not something we would have any idea about. I'm so proud of her that she took a step back, thought to herself, and said, I need to step out. Because she can always watch the rest of it on replay. Any of you guys can. But I'm never offended if you don't watch a certain video or you're not participating in a certain live because you're uncomfortable. I absolutely would rather have you not be here than to find out you had a panic attack. Oh, that would be awesome, Mark. That would be absolutely awesome. Yes, I'm really geeked to see about their tea. There is this place called Sugar Wish, and it's like an online store that you can do coffee, tea, candies, cookies. They have a little wine section too, I guess. And the company that I work for sometimes, I happen to be working for right now, on holidays, they send each of the people who work for a code, and you can order something within, this section. They've paid up to a certain amount or whatever. And I've gotten some interesting teas that way. I will admit this time I chose an incredible bottle of wine, something that I've been wanting to try. It's a different type of white, and I just want to see what it's all about. And then I don't have to pay for it. So we're going to see. But otherwise, I generally am doing their coffees and teas and figuring out what those are about. So I would love it. If for any of you who don't know, for your newer people here, Mark is in Germany and goes to this artesian tea store that just has these awesome sounding teas. And I love tea. As much as I love my coffee in the morning, it's just because it has more caffeine than tea does. I'd have to drink so much more tea than I would have to do my one coffee. So that's really the main reason I'm on coffee in the morning. I know that I should cut back on the caffeine. I know that's probably not so good for me, but my dad's still kicking. He's almost 80, and I think the man's made of coffee. I really think that it's his blood's coffee now, because it's all I really ever see him drink. Crystal Light. The last few years, Crystal Light in the evenings. No more coffee in the evenings, but Crystal Light. But that's all I ever saw him drink. All right, I think we'll end that here. We've got a good hour and a half in, and I'm glad that I hit the pause button on trauma and sleep. But Saturday, trauma and sleep is going to be the main thing that we're going to cover. But I also am going to touch on trauma and and body issues, body pains in particular. because one of our members has suggested that, something that that she wants brought up. So instead of coming on and talking about it, she's let me know ahead of time, so I can hopefully do some research in the area, and we'll see if I can come up with anything. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but we'll see. But trauma in the body is definitely going to be a multi-parter, because there's so much out there, from an informational standpoint of knowing how it happens, how long it sticks there, where it's stored. I mean, just the whole physiological aspect of it. And then there's the neurological aspect of it. And then there's the healing aspect of it. So there's a lot that can be covered in this area with body and trauma. So it's something that I do think is incredibly important for all of us. I'm sure that it will hit home in a lot of different ways for most people in the community. And I do want to spend the time to break it down. I may have one introductory video after this, so it might be next Wednesday, that's kind of a generalization, or an overview of taking it from kind of where it starts to how it how it gets stored, to how we can heal it, and some options there, and then dive deep into each of those areas. I'll have to see how the research plays out for me, but that is definitely what I'm thinking. So Charlie, Mayonnaise, Tracy, you guys newer to the channel, of me seeing you in the chat. Welcome. So glad to have you. Thank you. Once for every. My email. Okay. My email is survivingtogether, SASS@gmail.com. SASS, that's where we got the SAS community from. That is the name of our community. We are the SAS community, just as the lifeboat, you have your boaters and your crew. We are the SAS community. Surviving Together was taken, so I had to come up with some other letters. So Surviving Together, Sexual Assault Survivor Support is what SAS stood for in my brain. But if you forget my email, forget where you put it. It is in every description, every video description. You will have my, you'll see my email. Okay. Just look down for it. It might be down a little bit, but it is in every description. So you'll be able to find it there. Hey, Sandy, how you doing? How was Misha's channel? Did you guys get anything hammered out there? I know that I'm going to be speaking to her probably tomorrow. But we did speak over here about, I'm totally willing to add some times and to help fill some voids for anybody, as well as, how I normally have some sort of topic that I talk about, and then we generally are talking about that. If anybody ever needs to jump in and talk about something, please, whether it's related to the topic that we're talking about or not, please bring it up. You can either come on, like Misha does and just be blank and just your voice. You can come on and be like me. Shannon was on screen earlier. We were sharing the screen. Or you can just put something in the chat. So feel free to treat this as need a meeting as well. My live times will always be Wednesdays at 7, Saturdays at 3. I will be speaking with Misha, finding out what Ben's doing, and adding some more times accordingly. I said I will have it in my community post. I'm going to encourage any of the channels who are kind of picking up the slack to do the same, to have everybody who's filling in, to have all of theirs, not just your own channel, but to have them all in a community post. So no matter what channel you're on, you'd be able to go to the community post and see, okay, yep, here are all the times for everybody who's filling in. And to have some consistency with those times, so that there's something that you guys can plan on. It can be hard if it's just kind of hit and miss. Oh, I've got a notification, at 2 today, and yesterday was at 4, and never knowing when something is going on. need a meeting was always at a set time. We'll see if we can fill that particular time in, or if not, we'll see if we can get close to it if that worked for everybody. May take us a couple weeks to get things dialed in. Bear with us, but we want to make this work for you guys. So we'll be doing what we can to fiddle around behind the scenes to get it to be the best that it can be for you guys. And as soon as Carol is back and she is back to helming, feeling up to helming, needing a meeting again, we will gladly release those reins back to her. And that would be, your one source. Will that be that you cannot still bring things here? Absolutely not. You will always still be able to bring things, and you always have been. We just generally haven't done it. But you're always welcome to bring any topic that you need to discuss up in any of my lives. Or if it's something that you want brought up, but you don't want to do it yourself or anything, email me about it. And we can either communicate through email or we can hop on the phone and talk about it. And maybe it's something that I just do a separate live on. That's a possibility too. So a lot of different ways to get your information out and to get the information that you need. And we're happy to help. So we love you all. Have a great and safe 4th. Please, no turkey frying incidences and no Roman candles in the hair. Really want you guys to be safe, all right? But I hope it's a great one for you. Wonderful long weekend for those of you who have Friday off as well. And remember that you are valuable. You are worthy. You are strong because you're a survivor. And you're loved. Above all else, you're loved for who you are, just the way you are. Hugs and love, guys. Good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye. And no stupid injuries. Exactly, Mark.